What is up, guys? Rick Kakis here, and today we have just a thick slab of Borderlands 3 news to talk about. Now, firstly, the background gameplay is what came out today, which is the Borderlands 1 Game of the Year Enhanced Edition, and that's a lot of fun. Can't wait to jump back into this game. But in terms of Borderlands 3 information, the main thing we got today was an official release date. The official Borderlands 3 Twitter tweeted out this: Borderlands 3 arrives on Xbox One, PlayStation 4, and PC on September 13th, 2019. That's a pretty quick time frame. I had friends that thought that this game was going to be announced and then 2 years later in 2020 it was going to release, but nope, announced in March and coming out in September. That's pretty awesome. I mean, they made us wait a few years, just a few, so I love this condensed time frame. Something else in this tweet that's super interesting is they also say, tune in to the gameplay reveal event on May 1st, where we'll debut our first hands-on looks. Pre-order now and get the gold weapons skin pack, and then they have a link to where you can get the game. But the really interesting part is that May 1st gameplay reveal event. A trailer can only reveal so much about a product, especially a video game. You really need to see that raw, hands-on gameplay to give you a much better picture of what you'll experience when you pick up the controller and you play that video game. So very excited that that's happening. And in a different source, they said that there was a live stream event that went along on this May 1st reveal event. So they're just going to be straight live streaming Borderlands 3 on this date. Again, will give everyone out there a really good indication of what the game is like, of what to expect and what you're going to experience when you pick it up, which is fantastic. That's really what you want to be seeing. Now, in addition to that, this announcement was accompanied by a brand new gameplay trailer, so let's break it down and see what information we can extract from it. So right off the bat, we have a very quick montage showcasing some different guns in some different locations. The first one, kind of hard to tell. That big red bulge on top of the gun makes me kind of think Maliwan, but the rest of it is very unknown. I really do think, lasers / plasma cannons, we're going to get a lot of new gun types in Borderlands 3, and that's why a lot of these weapons are very difficult to actually identify. Next up, we got another example of this. We see the Hyperion yellow, but it's in a very weird vessel. Could again be a laser or something like that. After that, we get a much more traditional looking weapon with a traditional looking background. I want to draw your attention to that sight. That looks like a very easy to use, like holographic or red dot sight. Really happy that Borderlands 3 is picking up on their sight game. We won't just be cluttered with a bunch of hideous iron sights. Moving on from there, we have what is definitely a doll weapon. Looks a little bit more compact, could be an SMG. And in the background, we can see Holy Broadcast talks about the mouthpiece. There's very much a religious symbology going on with Borderlands 3, and we're definitely going to see that later in the video when we look at the box art. But then we get a bunch of different locations, finalizing in this screenshot here. I really think this is a Maliwan gun, and in the background, that's the cityscape we have seen a few times. I think this is a Maliwan city, like the Maliwan headquarters, and that's why every time we do see this city, we've seen it twice so far in the two different trailers, the user has had a Maliwan gun, so definitely making that connection there. Next up, we see something really cool with the Siren character actually utilizing a melee strike and just completely yeeting this bandit off of her, like just throwing this guy away, which would reinforce the much past leak, but still looks like credible information that this is a melee-focused character. Next up, we see someone hopping in what looks like the traditional Borderlands vehicle, but it's kind of red, crimsoned out, and it has some interesting looking wheels. I've had this theory that I went over in my last trailer breakdown that you can really go into vehicle customization in Borderlands 3, and you're going to be able to change the wheels of a certain type of vehicle and make them normal, metallic potentially, like racing wheels like we see here, spiked, hover wheels. We saw the same exact shell, like a Bandit Technical, with hover wheels, with spiked wheels, and so that would indicate that that actually is a feature. In this case, if you look at the weapon, this definitely looks like a missile pod, which we didn't have before. After that, we see one of the playable characters utilizing her special ability, which is to get into this massive mech. We get a bunch more angles of that happening, and that thing just looks sweet. I actually really want to play that character. Next up, something I want to draw your attention to is that we see this new wheel vehicle skirt by, and we saw this in the original trailer, but right after that, the next scene, we see the weapons being used change. It's originally like kind of a missile salvo launcher, and it switches to 2 cannons on the front, so again, showing that customization. Then we have a better look at the 4 playable characters. The first one, Mose, is the one that summons the robot. After that, we have Flak. This is the guy that can actually use pets in the game. As you can see, he's using a skag here. Next, the Siren is Amara. We see her with the arms again, but then we see a new piece of footage of her smashing the ground with that, which would indicate like a Destiny Striker Titan area of effect damaging ability, which is pretty darn sweet for clearing out groups of ads. And lastly, we have Zane, which is actually shown summoning a little robot from his wrist. Wonder what that ability will be. Then it showcases that the 2 main bad guys are the Calypso twins, followed by a sweet montage of just all the different baddies you'll fight in this game, and there are so many. Then, of course, you gotta mention a billion guns. A billion with a B, billion guns. Oh my goodness. And we see a little bit of a montage here of some of the different weapons. Definitely there is some insane variety to this game, and you know, coming from someone who plays so much Borderlands 2, it's pretty unreal just how many differences there are with this new Borderlands. Now, then it showcases that there are new worlds, and it's literally showcasing planets. So this is confirming the fact that it's not just different areas of the same planet, you can actually travel between different worlds. By the way, co-op is back. That's right. You can actually grab a friend on the same console, something that just hasn't been done for years. It's finally coming back with Borderlands 3. We actually see a really quick clip here of Zane and his little floating drone. I said I wonder what that ability would be. Looks like it has 2 different turrets attached to it, 2 little guns, and it's shooting at enemies. So it's an autonomous drone that floats around and attacks guys for you, which looks very sweet. And right after that, something really interesting. In my first trailer breakdown, I did make a mistake. I said that Zero was standing with the Atlas Corporation. No, it was the Crimson Lance. Sorry about that, huge brain fart. But in this scene here, we have a building that says Atlas on it. That 100% says Atlas. Now, is this a really old building, or is this confirming that Atlas, the corporation, you know, the main baddies in Borderlands 1, in terms of especially the General Knox DLC, are back, and they're actually a new manufacturer in this game? Well, this screenshot right here would actually indicate that, and it's in that Maliwan looking city, or at least it potentially is. So maybe it's not a Maliwan city, maybe this is an Atlas city, maybe this is just has a bunch of different manufacturers represented here. And then moving on from there, we see a vehicle drive by that actually has like energy scythes potentially to it. I feel like these are sticking out from the vehicle, and anything that would come in contact with that would be damaged. So this is another potential example of customization in terms of vehicles in Borderlands 3. Super cool there. And at the end of the trailer, we see that amazing new Borderlands 3 official box art. Yes, this is the new box art for Borderlands 3, as you can see here with the PlayStation version. And we actually have some information about the different editions that you can get and what they contain. So, first off, obviously, we have the standard edition. That's $60 US, but it says the pre-order bonus is gold weapon skins and weapon trinket. So that's actually really interesting. Firstly, with the gold weapon skin, so potentially every single weapon does a billion guns, but then you're going to be able to take those guns and change the skin on them. Put on gold, put on crimson, whatever you want to do, which is pretty insane for a Borderlands game, and that could again mean that it's really hard to identify some of the guns in these trailers because they have skins on them. But weapon trinket is also an awesome feature of customization, perhaps just out of like Rainbow Six Siege, where you can have the little dangly trinket on your weapon. That's also coming to Borderlands 3, and that's so sweet. Moving on from there, however, we have the deluxe edition. That's $80 US, and it includes everything in the base game plus these things. You get the retro cosmetic pack, Vault Hunter head and skin, Echo device skin, weapon skin. So again, weapon skins. Echo device skin is something a little bit new as well. That's really cool. The neon cosmetic pack. Then you got the Gearbox cosmetic pack, which comes with weapon skin, weapon trinket. the Toy Box Weapon Pack, 2 toy guns, toy grenade mod, weapon trinket, XP and loot drop boost mods. That's that's never great to see, but then the pre-order bonus is the same. Then we have the Super Deluxe Edition for $100 and includes everything before, but you're also going to get the Seasons Pass, which includes 4 campaign DLC packs featuring new stories, missions, and challenges. And you also get the Butt Stallion weapon skin, weapon trinket, and grenade mod. So, Borderlands 3 is getting yet another Seasons Pass. We're going to expect a lot more DLC from this game as well. And considering how excellent the Borderlands 2 DLC was, I'm totally receptive to this. But the final mega edition is the Borderlands 3 Diamond Loot Chest Collector's Edition. This is $250 US. This is usually the thing that's like the big ballin' thing that is totally unrealistic, but I kind of want, not gonna lie. So, these are the things you get for that. You get the Diamond Loot Chest replica featuring a functional retractable lid. This chest is perfect for showcasing real-world loot. Borderlands 3 character figurines times 10. Then you get Sanctuary 3 Snap model, so you can construct your very own Sanctuary 3 model ship and display it. Vault keychains times 4, so you can have a bunch of keychains. Cloth Galaxy map says discover new worlds beyond Pandora with Typhoon Delon's map of Borderlands. That's actually really cool. Then we get the character art lithographs, and then lastly a Borderlands 3 steelbook case. So there you have it, all the Borderlands 3 information today, the release date, the brand new trailer, and the additions and cover art shown. This is all fantastic, except for there is one negative thing, and I would be remiss not to mention it, and that is that Borderlands 3 is going to be an Epic Games Store exclusive. A lot of people are very upset by this. In fact, in that trailer, it has like, by the time I looked at it, it was like 20,000 upvotes and then 10,000 downvotes. 10,000 downvotes, 20,000 upvotes. That's not a great ratio for a brand new trailer of a super hyped up game. And I think people are just upset. They rather have their favorite game on their favorite system, which would be Steam. Steam has a lot of features that the Epic Games Store just does not have. Like there's a checklist going around, and it's overwhelmingly in terms of the cool things you can do and support in favor of Steam. However, I will say, and I commend Borderlands for coming out early and getting this out of the way, because something you can't criticize them for is the bait and switch that we've seen with other games, like Metro Exodus, where everything's good, they're taking pre-orders on Steam, and then last second it's switched to Epic Games Store, which a lot of people were very upset by. This, at least you have a lot of time to kind of either come to terms with that fact that's releasing on the Epic Games Store, or to rally and bug Borderlands and Gearbox in hopes that they actually change this policy. We'll see what happens in the future, but that's all of the news for today, guys. I hope you enjoyed the video, found it informative, and if you did, please remember to help me out by simply rating and especially sharing it. If you guys want to see more Borderlands 3 content similar to this, don't be afraid to slap that subscribe button. If you guys want to get in touch with me and keep up to date with the latest channel activity, the best way is to follow me on Twitter at RickKakis. That's linked in the description down below. Again, I hope you enjoyed the video, and as always, have a good day.